Hey friends, welcome to Lotus and the Light. My name's Jennifer. If you're joining, I am going to be talking today about the process of healing and moving through old patterns of behavior and allowing yourself the space to experience what feels like regression. But I really want to talk about that. So I have a friend that called me yesterday and wanted to talk about something going on in her life, and she came from a life where when she was young, she had some experience of trauma, and became very like walls up kind of a person. And then through early adulthood, went through several years of therapy, and now is what I would call like a master at like navigating her feelings. Like she is, she should be doing it for a living, helping other people do it for a living, if you ask me. Anyway, she's really great at it. And so she called me yesterday and she said, I had went from this place. So before she kind of worked through all those years of therapy, even into many years of that therapy, she was really dependent on being with somebody all the time. Like she was not comfortable sitting in the quiet, sitting alone with her own thoughts. That was really uncomfortable to her, especially if she was in a tough space in life, like if things were going on that didn't feel good. And so she was always busy, always with someone, always doing something. And then she learned how to sit in the quiet and how to find peace there and how to process emotions on her own instead of with her therapist. And, it really kind of opened a door that felt very freeing for her and felt more whole and healthy for her. And then now she's in a new relationship, and she said, I'm finding myself wanting to spend a lot of that time I used to spend now in solitude. I'm wanting to spend with her. And in particular, I'm wanting to process my feelings with her instead of processing them on my own. I've moved away from this unhealthy dependence into this healthier independence. And now I feel like I'm regressing by moving back towards wanting to work these feelings out with her, or work these feelings out for myself, but through talking with her. And many of us are verbal processors. So it usually does help to say things out loud. You could say them out loud to yourself. Like that's one of the reasons why I love these videos, because that's exactly what I'm doing, right? And then as I'm talking about it, I'm processing. Um, but it's just nice to have somebody you don't even need them to say anything. You're just saying it and you're processing it while you're saying it, right? Um, and so anyway, she was really struggling with that. And I one thing that came to light was this idea that she thinks that she's moving backwards. But here's the thing, and if you're watching this video, I have a feeling that you could be dealing with a similar situation. When you're working through old beliefs and shedding old beliefs and healing, like she did. So she was in a space where it wasn't safe to be alone with her thoughts and ideas. She couldn't process them alone. She needed a professional to help her and tell her what to, kind of prompt her to help her navigate through unhealthy beliefs. And then she became really good at it herself. And so now she has this negative connotation with that dependency on someone else. And so we talked about it yesterday, and I used my handy dandy um, spectrum of love, soul for short, spectrum of love. And we talked about like you were experiencing dependency in from a place of fear. It was from a place of not wanting to be alone, not wanting to go at it alone, not feeling safe being alone with your thoughts and ideas. And so you kept yourself busy with others. You tethered yourself to others for your own processing of your emotions, for your own healing, out of a place of fear. Then you learned how to break that pattern of behavior, and you brought healing and learned how to find peace within. And that's where your peace comes from. So she learned how to find the peace within. And now she feels like she's reverting backwards. But I told her you're leaning into a dependency that's not truly a dependency. It's just an interweaving. So instead of thinking of it as dependent and independent, finding that middle path is usually the highest and best way. And that middle path is more of an interdependency. So you're not completely independent with walls up, but you're not dependent with no boundaries at all, right? It's finding what you need in any moment and having an interdependent relationship with people in your life that allows you to weave in and out and come together when you need to come together and do things on your own when you need to do things on your own. And so my point was, that dependency and independency, neither one are inherently bad or good. There's nothing bad about wanting to process your emotions with your partner. But also there could be moments where you want to process them alone, and that's okay too. So now she's come to a healthier space where she's already learned now how to do it on her own. And you cannot unlearn that. Before, when she was dependent on others, it was because she hadn't learned how to process those emotions on her own. Now she's learned and she knows. It's moved from a learning up here to a knowing because she's experienced it. And once you've experienced something and you know it, you can't unknow it. And that means she's safe now to move back into some level of interdependency with a partner. And it will not be down here in a fear-based space. It's going to be over here, right? Because she's got more, she's got the knowledge, she's got the understanding and the healing that's allowing her to operate from a place of love instead of a place from fear. And how do we know that it's coming from love? Because her desire to want to process with her partner is coming from a place of desire. She wants to. It feels good to do this with her. What was not feeling good was the idea that she was reverting and going backwards. That was coming from up here. That wasn't coming from a desire, from a feeling. That was coming from a narrative. She was telling herself, you're going backwards. Dependency is bad. It was coming from a place of judgment, of dependency. Okay. And so, but here's what you have to remember. We think that life is happening on a linear timeline. So it's just going in one direction, right? So you go, so in her case, she went from not knowing how to process her emotions on her own, being dependent on others. In fact, before that, she started not even wanting to process her emotions, right? She just blocked it all out. And then she's processing, but she needs help processing and she can't do it on her own. Then she learns how to process and heal on her own. Then she feels like she's moving backwards back into needing someone else. But it wasn't a need, it was a desire. And when we stop thinking of our healing journey as a linear timeline and think of it more as a spiral, what's happening is she's just looping back around, but not in the same space. And I'll even use this and turn it this way. So when you come around the bend and you face something for the second time or the third time, you're not facing it. You're not going backwards because you're actually in an upward motion as you're going. So you're revisiting it from a different perspective, from a higher perspective each time. And sometimes it feels like, sometimes you feel like you're not learning lessons. Like, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep ending up in these relationships? Why do I keep having this experience over and over? So in that case, maybe you're not learning a lot each time. Maybe you still have some big things to overcome and heal. And so maybe in that sense, the spiral is still going up. I promise you, it's still going in the upward trajectory. You're still coming at it from a different perspective, but it just might feel like smaller increments because you need to gain those perspectives before you can start making some big leaps. But then before you know it, that spiral, it's going to be like, I hit it here a few months ago, and now I'm hitting it way up here, and it feels a lot different and a lot easier to work through now. And that's where she was at. She was not moving backwards. She was cycling through the healing process. And eventually, when she heals it from every aspect she needs to heal it from to fully release it, the karmic cycle is complete. The educational lesson is done, and those experiences can either stop happening, or in this case, the need to process emotions is not going to stop happening. In this case, she can stop judging it because she has full enlightened perspective about it from a place of love. Okay. Should we close? Let's close with a card. Why wouldn't we do that? Okay. Oh no, let's go here. Starting to go to a tarot, but we're going to go self-love oracle because we're talking about personal healing. I was talking about that journey. It is not linear. It is spiral. And if it feels like things are happening over and over again, it's for your benefit because there's something else for you to learn. So at minimum, start journaling or, whatever you need to do to figure out that truth. Okay, I'm going to cover up some things here. This is unbelievable. So I just recorded another video where I pulled some cards for myself personally. And I've never done a video and posted a video where I just pull for myself. Like I pulled 3 cards. It was just something I was trying. I don't even know if I'm going to post it, but I kid you not, I pulled a 22 because there's just this thing about balance going on in my life right now. So apparently the collective that is feeling called to watch this video must have some stuff going on in their life too around finding balance within. balance in your relationships. So it could be balance within, balance without, right? That could be balancing your masculine and feminine energy, balancing your give and take, your rest and your action, balancing your belief systems and like reconciling, hey, I've shed some beliefs. Are my actions mirroring now those beliefs, or am I still stuck in some old behaviors that don't even align with my beliefs anymore? Like just reacclimating. Every time we level up to a new energetic frequency, we've got to kind of reacclimate. We get a little out of balance. Um, and so this is a 22. Sorry, I'm covering the body because YouTube won't like that. And it says, I am the light of my soul, third eye chakra. Love it. Where's the book on this? I am the light of my soul. And mm, I'm not even gonna say anything else about it. I'm just going to read it. Okay, that is not the right card. Sorry. I am the light of my soul. This is guidance to become more discerning with who you believe and what you believe. Be mindful not to place too much value on the opinions of others or the voice of self-doubt. We are in an age where lies and illusions are broadcast constantly. Some are so subtle that before you are aware, they can pull your energy back down into fear-based thinking. Be watchful. That was my friend's experience. She was being sucked into the state of judgment. And the sooner we can stop judging any experience and just look at it and say, this is interesting. I was processing my emotions independently. Now it seems like I'm moving back towards some interdependent type of processing of my emotions. It's not making me feel good. What is that telling me? What does that mean? What am I afraid of? If we can always take that approach and try to take a little neutral stance, you will come out better for it. Um, Practice tuning into your intuition and heart wisdom in order to feel your truth. As you become more practiced in doing this, you learn to trust the intuitive wisdom that comes through from the meditative, calm mind. In this neutral state, you can allow your intellect to show you how to manifest that wisdom. When you point the light of your truth to the present reality, you can face fear with spiritual maturity and conserve your precious energy. That's right. We spend a lot of energy overthinking and worrying and replaying negative narratives that are not serving us. Anyway, a healthy endocrine system and activated pineal gland is essential to become the seer of your truth and project what you want to manifest. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there, folks. I am the light of my soul. Thanks. Peace out.